It has been far too long. On the last day of February, we are back for the first time since the last day of January. It's WWE 2001, The Invasion. Look, the best way for me to say this is that at this point, I think what you all need is a follow-up, a retrospective on the series, and that's why, following the King of the Ring tournament, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Following the end of the King of the Ring, that's exactly what I'm going to do, because after that third video, I'm done. I'm not ending this series, I'm going on a hiatus with the series. I'm going on a hiatus with Let's Plays in general, and over that course, other videos will be taking up the time on the account, because I want to make it more active and more focused. And also, after all these years of having Let's Plays on the account, I think it's time to at least try and switch them up a little bit. So with that being said, without further ado, let's jump right into the Go Home SmackDown before the King of the Ring this Sunday. And actually, I just wanted to add one little thing in, because I feel weird having a show ahead of the pay-per-view and not talking about announcers discuss contract signing from Monday and who they pick on Sunday. Okay, there we go. First thing also is that after the hiatus, I will actually turn back on the minimum time and go back to actually having to put together a show for a minimum amount of time, rather than doing it the way I do it, because I actually kept forgetting to turn it back on after turning it off for, I believe, Sunday Night Heat. But I could be wrong. But either way, the first match on the pre-show kicks off with Tommy Dreamer and Steve Blackman. Yes, Tommy Dreamer has been signed by the WWE, but much like the WCW alumni, Tommy Dreamer has a tryout match before the show to put on display what his skills are, and I have to say, Tommy's pretty good. Not disappointing at all. Pretty good. But now we move to the next match with... Hey, wait a second. Oh, wait. Yeah, I forgot there was a match tonight. William Regal will announces that he will decide the finals of the King of the Ring tomorrow, on Sunday, because much like what we saw with Perry Saturn and Test advancing to the last round, either Rhino or Jeff Hardy will advance as well. And I know some might say, oh, why not just have Rhino or Jeff Hardy advance to the finals? I thought about that, because it may basically seem like that what the issue is that I miscalculated the amount of weeks before the pay-per-view. And it's not that I miscalculated the amount of people, it's that I put on too many matches ahead of the King of the Ring. And by that I mean, the intention was to have the semifinals and the finals on the show, and not in the weeks leading up to the show, and not to where the finals were the only thing on the show. Even though some might say, oh, the final segment is the most important, it generally is that I wasn't expecting to have that. Like, I wasn't expecting to have it end up like this, is what I'm trying to say. But either way, it gives me a little bit more time to decide what's going to happen, and it also gives me a little bit more time in real life and on television. like an excuse to wait. But you'll find out. Also, now we have a fatal 4-way for the number 1 contendership to face Chavo Guerrero on Sunday. And one member of the fatal 4-way was a surprise, as Billy Kidman, the former WCW Cruiserweight Champ and Cruiserweight Tag Team Champion, made his WWF debut. And the reason why is this. What looks better? Him making his debut in the WWE as a singles wrestler, as fodder for the lightweight division, or depth for the lightweight division, or just another face in a huge, bloated stable. In my opinion, the best way to have him debut is a part of the lightweight division. Because looking at the other members of the lightweight division, it ain't that good. So, either way, Kidman is now giving Chavo Guerrero a reliable person to face. And now we move to Raven, who Raven comes up on the Titantron and he's calling out Canyon. He wants an explanation as to why Canyon attacked him last week on SmackDown. He wants to know why Canyon is in the WWF and what Canyon has against him. And wants to know why Canyon can't just let the past be the past. I would say for the most part that Raven would have control of this segment because I believe in Scott Levy and think that Scott Levy is actually one of the more underrated people, and that if I gave him details of a promo, of like main points of what I wanted him to put over in a promo, I think he could. And I think to fill in the meat of the promo, he would do it. And that's exactly what I would do. So the meat would be him trying to find an explanation as to why Canyon attacked him last week. But the one thing I will rephrase is that he's not on the Titantron, he's in the ring. He comes out to the ring and calls out Canyon with nobody answering the call. And now we move to the next round of the King of the Ring tournament with Jeff Hardy advancing to Sunday against Test and Perry Saturn in the finals of the King of the Ring tournament. And now we move backstage with Chavo Guerrero finding Billy Kidman, and Kidman is still a little bit winded after his long fatal 4-way earlier in the night, and Chavo just welcomes Kidman to WWE, to the WWF, and asks, "So Kidman, how different do you think it is than WCW?" And then he just walks off as Kidman looks at him. And then you hear Kidman say, "The letters are different, but come Sunday I'll still win." The youngster not wanting to stir the pot, or the newbie not wanting to stir the pot. But either way, well, look, I know that's weak. You don't have to tell me. It's the lightweight title. Who cares? But either way, we move to the next segment with Edge and Christian, with William Regal, as Edge and Christian want to know on Raw a month ago. Well, on Raw on the show a few weeks ago, Mick Foley blamed the attack on The Undertaker on Edge and Christian. Edge and Christian took exception to that, but the Big Red Monster didn't want to hear it. And once he thought he knew who attacked his brother, he made Edge and Christian regret it. Regret even being mentioned. And Edge and Christian took their frustrations out on Mick Foley by going to William Regal and demanding to know how William Regal will make it up to them. And William Regal announces that on Sunday it will be the tag team champions Edge and Christian in a handicap match against Kane. So Edge and Christian are happy about the fact that they are facing the Big Red Monster in a handicap match this Sunday, but also a little nervous because they're versing the Big Red Monster in a handicap match this Sunday. And now we move to the next tag team match which sees the APA against Rikishi and Haku. Yes, Haku is the hardcore champion, winning it from Test, following the King of the Ring tournament match between Test and Rikishi. But now Haku may have his hands full come Sunday, as K-Quick, Big Boss Man, Rikishi, and the APA are all vying for the hardcore title at King of the Ring. So we will honestly find out who will be the King of the Ring in the way that one person will be left standing in what will be a clusterfuck of a match. But now we move to the next match with Kane going up against Matt Hardy, and Matt Hardy comes up short against the Big Red Monster ahead of Kane's handicap match on Sunday against Edge and Christian. And then Kane says that on Sunday he will find out who took out his brother. And even if he has to beat it out of Edge and Christian. So on Sunday it seems like we could find out who attacked The Undertaker. Now, as you saw earlier, before I started running through the show, I set this up to basically put forth the idea that I mentioned it on the show, that Steve Austin will face Chris Benoit for the WWF title at King of the Ring. They signed the contract on Monday and will face one-on-one on Sunday. And now we move to the next match with The Rock going up against Edge. And Edge loses by DQ when Big Show runs in and attacks The Rock, which sees Big Show continue the beatdown after Edge leaves the ring, and Big Show chokeslams The Rock not once, not twice, but 3 times, in more ways than one, leaving an indentation of The Rock's body in the mat. But either way, the last scene we see as the show fades to black is Big Show standing tall over the Great One ahead of their match this Sunday at King of the Ring. No surprise there. SmackDown is usually this bad. But either way, now at the King of the Ring, there will be a 6-man tag team match as the Dudley Boys, Bubba Ray, Devon, and Spike, go against Right to Censor, Stevie Richards, Val Venus, and The Good Father in a 6-man tag team match. The world title will be on the line. Austin versus Benoit. Kurt Angle will go one-on-one in a grudge match against Chris Jericho, non-title, even though Chris Jericho is the Intercontinental Champion. After their last match, Angle doesn't want the belt. He just wants to prove, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that he is better than Y2J. The Rock will face Big Show in the end, in what promises to be a grudge match, especially now after the Big Show taking it out on The Rock this week on SmackDown. Also, Kane against the World Tag Team Champions Edge and Christian in a handicap match. And if that wasn't enough, Test versus Perry Saturn at the finals of the King of the Ring tournament, where we will find out who wins the tournament. Jeff Hardy, Test, or Perry Saturn will win the 2001 King of the Ring tournament. And also, if that wasn't enough, Chyna versus Lita for the women's title. And the final match, which was made tonight, K-Quick, Bossman, the APA, Rikishi, and Haku in a 6-man hardcore match. For the Hardcore Championship. And if that wasn't enough to add the icing on the cake and the cherry on top of the sundae, we will find out this Sunday a little bit more. Or we could find out who attacked The Undertaker. And if those people who attacked The Undertaker also attacked Triple H. So with that being said, let me know down in the comment section below if you think this rating was fair, or if you think the game was a little harsh. What do you think the show should have gotten? Let me know down in the comment section below. But if you don't want to leave a comment, then you can always leave a like. Subscribe to the channel for more content just like this that you can only find right here at Wrestling Express. And before you disappear without a sign, let me just reiterate that after the King of the Ring, I'll be going over what will happen to this series and what will also happen to the other Let's Play series and the channel in general. So once again, there is still one more video, and that is the King of the Ring before the channel update. So you will still need to ding that notification bell to always know when a new video comes up on Wrestling Express, so you're not out of the loop when it comes to the hiatus that this concept will likely be going on. And with that being said, I'll see you next time.